Somebody asked me to. So I really want you to have a plan in place. And I shouldn't say I want. I would suggest that you want to have a plan in place to understand how much money you're okay losing per trade, right? Or per day, depending on how you do it. If you do 4 trades in a day, then you need to have like how much you willing to lose in that day and then divide that by 4, right? So that you have a good idea. If you're gonna do 1 trade a day, whatever, just do the math, right? So let's talk about this a little bit. And this same thing with stock options, right? If you're trading stock options on the stock option side, what is your account size? How many contracts can you leverage? If you got a $500 contract, a $500 account, you're not going to be able to leverage very many contracts if you're trading something that's $249 a contract, right? So just keep that in mind as you're trading. I don't want chat. I want share. All right, here we go. And we're on US 30. So one of his entries from Sunday, and I'm going to do this, and you can do this with the math. This is pretty easy to do this with the math. Everybody can see my screen, okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you come over and play with this a little bit. You come over to pending orders, and I'm going to put in his entry, which was 41,000. 41,000. It was a buy, right? And let's see. We'll go to 41.3, which is his TP2. 41.3. Go up to a higher time frame so we can see this a little bit. All right. And then stop loss he had set at 40,700. So as you guys can see, if this trade activated and you put it in and say a pending order or whatever as maybe an immediate execute depending on where price is in relationship to this. If you took this and you entered at 41,000 and you got out at 41.3 and you're at a 0.01 lot size, you'd make $300, right? Again, this is trading US 30. Does everybody see that? So basically, it's $1 for every point. So 41,001 would be $1. 41,050 would be 50. Here's $100. Here's $150. Here's $200. Here's $250. Here's $300. That's a 0.01 lot size. Conversely, if this goes in a losing direction, you're losing $300. So depending on what your account size is, your account balance, are you okay with losing? In this case, the account balance is $3,800 roughly, right? So in this case, would I be okay with losing 7.85% of my total balance if this goes in the wrong direction? That's a forced answer, right? I have to answer that for myself. If this goes in this wrong direction, would I be okay with losing that money? And I know you hear a lot of the guys talk about, and I'm going over this again because I'm hoping it sticks in your brain. These are 2 different entities, right? If I have 22 wins in a month at 7% and I have 8 losses at 7%, what's the bigger number? Anybody can chime in.
The wins.
The wins, of course. So it's very important that you understand what your lot size is. Now, if I'm going to TP1, right, which was 40, which is $10, right? It's 41,010. It's way the heck down here. It's literally like $10, right? Am I willing to lose 10 bucks? Am I willing to lose $300 to make $10? No. And I want to say this to you because no matter what this number is up here, whether it's $10, $50, $200, $10,000, am I okay with losing $300? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Am I okay with losing $300? Regardless of how much money I win, because everybody says no, the second you say $10. They're okay if it's $300, but they're not okay if it's $10. So let me ask you this question. If you had $10, if you had $310 in your wallet and you lost $300, How much money did you lose? Anybody?
$300.
$300. If you have $600 in your wallet and you lose $300, how much money did you lose?
$100.
300.
That's my point, right? So regardless of how much money you have that you set yourself up on the winning side, you must be okay with how much your stop loss is going to be. Like everybody focuses on the win, but you're not paying attention to this, because I've seen people like, oh, I'm going to go with a 0.8 lot size, right? 0.8 lot size is $24,000. If I win 20, if it goes in my direction, it's $24,000. Am I okay with losing $24,000 on a $3,000 account? It's not even going to work. The broker's going to tell me, you don't have enough money. There's not enough margin, right? If I have a $25,000 account, am I okay with losing $24,000? If I have a $50,000 account, am I okay with losing 50% of my account? No. So you've always got to understand adjusting your lot size is going to be very, very crucial to understanding how much money you're okay with losing, right? How much money you're okay with losing if this goes in the losing direction. You're going to be okay with the win because you can take the money anywhere above this number. You can take this. You can also take a loss anywhere below this number. You don't have to wait for it to come down to stop loss. Maybe get down to 750. Like, you know what? I'm just going to kill it right here. I'm just going to take a $750 loss and reevaluate. So your exit plan on the loss side, you need to have that figured out in relationship to your balance. How much money are you willing to lose? Are you willing to lose 40% of your account? This is 39.7%. I would pretty much say if you're okay with losing 30% or 40% of your money, you need to rethink what you're doing, because you're not in my wheelhouse, right? So understand this, and it doesn't matter what you're trading in that side. It doesn't matter if you're doing a buy or a sell, and how you're setting this up and putting these numbers in here. The number you need to pay attention to, in my opinion, is how much are you willing to lose. You can manually put these numbers in here. Just because he puts a stop loss at 40,700 and you decide to take the trade doesn't necessarily mean you need to leave it there. Maybe you're okay with, wanting to move it up to half of that number, right? Instead of doing that much of a stop loss, you want to go with half of that. It's your money. You've got to know how much money you're willing to risk. Are you willing to risk losing 750 bucks, whatever that number is right in there, right? 750 bucks to make 1,500. You can also just type it in over here if you want, right? Are you okay with losing 750 bucks, which would be 20% of a $3,000 account, to make 1,500? I'm not, right? So I'm going to adjust my lot size down to something that's going to be more palatable for me, right? Am I okay with losing 7%? I'm a 6% guy myself, right? I'd rather do 6%, somewhere in that area. So do I need to adjust my lot size, or do I need to adjust my percentage so that if it does take off and go in this direction, I'm okay with making 600 bucks, and I'm okay with losing 6%. So I'm making 15% to lose 6%, right? So I know that I just said this, but you need to be okay and comfortable with how much money you're going to lose if this bad boy goes in the wrong direction, right? The gold trades that Gold Empire just put out, he put out 2 losing trades, like back to back, like both of them were losses. Then he had a win, and then this morning it just barely triggered and then went into a loss, right? Again, that's something you can't control, and it turned around and went into a win. So you need to understand how much money are you willing to lose per trade, how much money are you willing to lose in a week, how much money are you willing to lose over 20 trades. And the only way you're going to figure that out is by coming in here, going into your demo account, and putting in some of these numbers and playing with them and saying, okay, if I took Abdullah's trade idea at a 0.01 lot size, right, and I do all the numbers that he suggests, that he recommends, what was it, 40,700? Am I okay with losing 300 bucks today if that trade doesn't go the way I want it to? And you just got to ask that. You just got to ask that question. Or do I want to move my stop loss up to something more comfortable for my balance? Does anybody have any questions about what I just said? Does anybody not understand what I just shared?
Good.
Everybody's cool?
Understood. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. Pay attention to stop loss, what you're willing to lose and risk.
Yes. So let's go take a look at another one here. Excuse me. I don't know why my iPad is just dragging. It's like somebody poured syrup on the processors or something. Come on. Probably trying to make me buy a new one. I really don't want to. So here's another example. I'm going to share with you the gold trade I did from this morning. So this is the gold trade I did from this morning. You can see it's an absolute freaking hot mess, right? I mean, this is just messy, messy, messy. It came up and literally just barely triggered the trade, and then it just went straight to the basement, right? So this was a loss right here in this. So when I come in and take a look at this, right, my entry, and kill you guys. Let's see here, pending order. You guys see how I'm doing this just to figure out what the math is?
Yes,
On
sir.
these, you don't actually have to enter a trade. You can just come in
Right.
here and put the pending orders and put the numbers in, and it's going to tell you if this happens, that's what the math is going to be. You don't have to actually activate the trade. You can play with the numbers ahead of time so you have a general idea. So 32, 32, 65. 32.65 would have been the entry. It was a buy, and we'll just say TP1 32.4675. 32. What did I say? 32.4675. So in this case, what was that? Come back here. In this case, in this buy, if I entered this trade and it took off and it goes in the direction I want to at a 0.02, I'm doing a 0.02, right? A 0.02, right? I'm going to make $28. Am I okay with making $28 on a $3,000 account? Of course, I'm going to bump this up a little bit because I want to get better returns on that. My goal is somewhere, that's 9%. So let's go with 0.15. Yep, 0.15 puts me just under 6%, so $211. Now my question is on my stop loss side, right? So I know how much money I'm going to make if this triggers and it comes up to TP1, right? My stop loss is going to be down here somewhere at 140 pips, was 32.18. $32.18.55. Wow, that was pretty good. So am I okay with losing $211 off of my balance if this trade goes in the wrong direction? In other words, where do we go this way? Where was that at? If it does this, am I okay with losing $211 if this trade doesn't go in this direction, right? At a 0.02 lot size. And that's a question you just have to ask yourself based on your account balance, right? What is your account balance? Is my account, am I okay with losing? And that's sort of my limit, you guys. I'm a 6% guy. 6% is like what I sort of want to call my max gross numbers in either direction that I want to go. I'm okay with losing 6%, and I love winning 6%. That's just my number. I picked it out. You guys might have a different number. You know, Martin might be a 2% guy, right? Carlotta might be a 1% person. So it just depends on where you're at, but you've got to be okay with the loss. The win, you're going to be okay with on a win, right? Everybody agree the win is good?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is a no-brainer up here. If it
Yeah.
goes this direction and we get to wherever we want to get to and we make some money, we're okay up here, but we have to literally be okay with the loss. You have to be okay with the loss. You must be okay when you hit the commit button. I always say the go button, but we'll change it to the commit button. When I commit to this trade, if it does a on me and goes in this direction, think like, oh, I'm gonna stay in it a little bit. Nah, it's not coming back. 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 Well, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and scoop my stop loss down just a little bit more. Still hit it. Right? Came up, bounced down, came into a second trade. Now this trade down here, this is the Idris trade from this morning. I don't know if you guys saw that he put in there. I don't know if it went to TP1, TP2, or TP3. But again, same situation. It came down. I think it hit his TP1 and then stalled out just shy of TP2. But again, this is the Idris trade from this morning. Exactly the same thing. Let's go see if we can find it. I don't know why he's not putting those in the swipe to trade side at a TP1 position. I don't know why he's not doing that, because I think he would have probably some of the best results doing that, but that's just me. I don't run the show here. Give me a second. Let me scroll over to him. Scroll over. Click on Idris. And let's see, his entry was 32.20. His TP1 was 32.18. Oh yeah, I went way past TP1. 32.15. 32.10 was TP3. So let's do this. 32. 32.10 was his TP3. I haven't taken his trades in quite a while, so I'm not adjusting. So he got at 32.20 and got out at 32.10. So are we okay with that? So let's do him, right? And he was on gold. So what I just say, 32.20?
Mm-hmm.
Sell 32.10.
Yep.
And then his stop loss was 32.27.52. 32.27.52. So looking at these numbers, right? Looking at these numbers, 3.93% win. If it wins, if it loses, basically under 3%. Are you okay if you took this trade at a 0.15 lot size or whatever lot size you choose? Maybe I go a little bit bigger. Maybe I go to a 2.5 lot size, right? Am I okay with this? It's still under my 6%. So am I okay? And just remember, when you guys are switching products, going from SPX to US 30 to gold or whatever, you can't just use the same lot size for everything, because you'll get your lunch taken. You need to look at these trades and say, okay, what am I doing here? How am I adjusting this? Am I okay with losing 188 bucks? Maybe I can go up to 3.35, right? This sounds crazy. That's a little bit high. This will do 0.32, right? There we go. That's close to my 6%. So if I do a 0.32 lot size and I hit the go button, if it goes in this direction, which it did today, I would have made 320 bucks. If it goes in the direction I don't like, I would have lost $240. So going back to what I said earlier, if I took both trades, this trade and this trade, am I okay with losing the combined total percentage of 6%? Both would be 12% loss for the day. I need to think about that. If I've already got my 6% loss done, am I going to commit to another trade? Am I going to be greedy like, I lost this one, I'm going to take another trade? Because I've already lost the max that I want to lose for the day. So you've got to think about that, you guys. If I'm going to take two trades, maybe I need to adjust my percentage to 3% to max, whatever your number is. I'm not telling you to do 6%. Maybe your number is 1%. You got to do a 0.5% loss on each trade. You need to come in and play with these numbers. You've got all the numbers in Solex. You can literally go take those trades, put them into your trading software, and play with the numbers so that they'll cement into your psychological brain pan of how much money am I okay with losing if I just take gold trades. Maybe I just take Idris gold trades and the other guy. Maybe I just take gold trades and that's all I do. But you still got to do the math. How much am I okay with losing in a day based on my account balance? Not forced account balance, not a hypothetical. I've got $100,000 in a demo account. And I'm actually going to trade with 500, right? It's not a good way to go, right? Make sure your demo account is going to be pretty close to what you're actually going to trade with, and then track your trades. Do 20 trades in a row on a demo account so you know. Put down what your stop loss is, right? How many pips is it? 150 pips. Put a dollar sign next to it. 150 pips on this trade equaled this much money. That way, when you go back and you look at your spreadsheet, you can see that, okay, at a 0.02 lot size, 150 pips of loss is X amount of dollars. You'll start to see it. So you'll know how to adjust when you come into your software. You can come in here and adjust it to whatever you need to adjust it on your market size, right? Questions? No?
This is helpful. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Does anybody have anything else?
This was very, very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Does anybody else have anything else that they're stuck on, that they're having challenges with, excluding Carlotta and Solex?
No, this was helpful. So I'm going to add this step to my journal. We should have been there all along.
And see, I can't, Martin, how many times have I said how important is it to learn how to use your trading software?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
If you're driving a car, what's the most important part of a car other than the tires, the motors, the seats, the doors and stuff? What's the most important part?
The brakes.
Well, there's the brakes. The brakes are irrelevant if you don't start the car and turn it on and practice driving. You go out to the parking lot with your dad and he tells you and you're driving and you put the brake and then eventually you'll know how to stop the car without slamming on the brakes, right? And of course they've got all these cool new cars like I had in my Mercedes. We could literally just take your hands off the wheel and off the steering wheel and it would go in a straight line, and if there was something in front of it, it would literally come to a stop all by itself. Cool as heck. Right? It's still hard not to put your foot on the brake though. Like, the instructor be like, don't do it. You're like, just close your eyes. Like, it just comes to a stop. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I digress. So have fun with your software. Go in and play with it. Move your buttons around. Put your account size, your demo account size, to what you're really going to trade with, right? What you're really going to trade with. Put your lot size, and remember, just because you're trading with a 0.01 on US 30 or on US 0.25 on gold doesn't necessarily mean you can trade with 0.025 on US 30. You need to adjust a lot because they do different numbers, right? And if you're going to take a Plato's trade, she's playing with she's doing like 400-point moves, right? The move that I just showed you was like $24,000. That same move on hers would have been like $80,000. So you got to remember who you're taking the trade idea from. What's their modus operandi, right? How are they trading? Who are you taking a trade from? Are you taking a Bitcoin trade from Felipe? Or are you taking a Bitcoin trade from Plato's? Two different people, two different traders. It was funny this morning because Idris and Plato's both did gold trades identical to one another. I mean, they were a little off. And then yesterday, it was the same thing on the reverse side where Plato's and Gold Empire did a trade. They were literally like just a few points off from entry on one another, very similar. So I don't know if they're cheating off each other's notes or if they're all actually really good traders and they know what they're doing. I'm not a big fan of Plato's gold trades because she doesn't win it that much. Idris typically has really good winning ratios on his gold trade ideas. And I'm sharing this with you guys because it's, when we're trading in the morning at 8 o'clock and we're taking a SPY trade and you've made X amount of dollars and there's a gold trade coming up that Idris drops in and you're sitting in front of your computer, why not take the trade, right? If you have the time and you have the wherewithal, take 20 of his trades, take 20 of the gold trades, put them in your software or put them on your spreadsheet and figure out how much money you need to make. Am I just going to be a TP1 person? It's okay, right? But you've got to be okay if that trade goes in the wrong direction. You need to have like two different mindsets. You need to have like my money losing mindset and I don't care how much money I'm going to make. I'm going to make my money over here, right? You've got to be okay with that. You can't just choose a 0.5 lot size because 0.5 lot is going to give you $4,000. But at the same time, if it goes 100 pips the other way, you just lost $4,000, right? So you got to be really careful on your mindset when you're trading and how you're going to trade, right? If you did 3% a day growth wise for the next 260 trades, you're going to have millions of dollars in a pure beautiful world. That would be awesome if every single trade you could get 3%, 3%, 3%, not go up 3% and then down 7%, then up 4% and down 2%, and then and you get more, get more 3%ers than you do losses on the loss side. That's nice, but you've got to give yourself patience. You can't just say, hey, I had 2 losing trades in a row and you quit. You need to do 20 trades, 25 trades, 30 trades, 40 trades on a demo account so that you have a really good feeling, and be real, be authentic, and be committed to those numbers, right? Put the numbers in, stick to the numbers, make sure you know what your lot size is, and track everything, the time, the date, the lot size, how much, when you entered, how long you were in the trade, did it get to TP1, TP2, TP3, what was my drawdown, how much did I draw down in that trade, right? How many points did it draw down? Put a drawdown number in there, a drawdown column. How many pips was the stop loss? Was 150 stop loss, and did it hit? And when it did hit that 150 stop loss, how much money did I lose? Because you're gonna have that in your losing column with a big red circle around it, as that's how much money you lost because you went to 150 pips or 140 pips or 94 pips or whatever it is. You're gonna know what that loss is, right? And you can have a running total. If you want to be like Martin and say, hey, overall growth percentage calculation, figure out the calculation in the math. Like I started out with $500 and now I'm at $1,000. How much percentage growth is that, right? And that's fun. It's fun to look over in the column and say, oh man, I've grown my account by 22.5% in 1 month. Woo-hoo-hoo, right? That's a fun place to be, right? Questions, thoughts, takeaways. And I would challenge you guys to, if you have something, and I know a lot of people are scaredy cats to do this, but if you have something that you want to train on, I'm telling you, this is going to help you be a better trader. Is pick out a topic. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes like mine. It can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Pick out a topic that you want to train on and just say, hey, Forrest, I want to show people how I do X. And you can have the floor, and it's when you train, you become better. When you teach something, it makes you much better at doing it. It just does. Trust me. It creates some type of different chemical in your brain when you. That's why I like doing this, guys. I'm doing this for selfish reasons. The more I train you guys, the better I get, right? Because it's sticking in my brain. The more I train you guys, the better I get. So I would challenge you guys, pick out something you want to train on. It could be mindset, it could be numbers, it could be candles, it could be a aha moment that you had, like, oh, every time I trade so and so on this and I see an engulfing candle followed by an inverted hammer at support, this happens at this time frame. And you go back and you can show people how to back test that. Like, here's how I back tested it. Here's how I found that. Sharing something different from Carlotta, Laura might go, oh, think I've heard that somewhere before, but I don't know, right? Just might stick better, right? Because maybe Carlotta says it just a little bit differently than maybe Forrest would say it, or maybe Martin says it a little bit different than Miss May would say it, or maybe Dennis says it a little bit different than Latanji says it, or maybe Brian says it a little bit different than Yvette says it, right? And it just helps everybody. So if you want to train something, feel free. Also, on a day like yesterday, and I apologize, I thought I put it in the WhatsApp chat, but I didn't. If I take a day off in the morning for live trading and somebody else wants to step up, don't ask my permission. Just do it. Just say, hey, I got it. And whoever wants to run with the live trading in the morning, feel free to do that. I know Martin already does Mondays and Tuesdays. I wouldn't expect him to do that, but anybody else that wants to step up on, on a morning time, if I'm not around, and wants to do the live trading session and run it and do the screen share and all that kind of stuff, feel free. It's going to help you be a better trader. I'm telling you. Nobody's going to put you in timeout. Nobody's going to put you up on a billboard anywhere and shout you out to the world and make you look embarrassed. It's not going to happen. It's just going to help you be a better trader. I'm challenging you guys to do this. Trust me. I think that's all I got. think that is all I got. Martin, you
Coach,
got anything? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
was it Carlotta that had a problem with Abdullah finding him on Solex?
Oh, I
'Cause
had a problem with the app itself. My app was, when I pulled my app up, everything was current on it, except one day I logged in, I was pulling the app up and all of Abdullah's stuff was in 2024. All the other,
that happened to me.
and what,
And
how'd you resolve it?
what I did is go back to the educators, unsubscribe him
Mm-hmm.
and resubscribe, and it'll update.
I did that.
And it didn't update?
No, I turned my phone off, went back again and did it.
Not the phone, not the
I know,
app,
but I
the
went back and
name.
unsubscribed Abdullah himself and then
Uh-huh.
brought him back up and it still showed 2024. I did that about 3 different times
Oh,
on
wow.
different
Okay.
days. I figured it was just a fluke because why did it just one morning? He's
Yeah,
2024
I
and
did it yesterday and it updated because I had
Right.
2024 also.
mhm.
Try this too. Right underneath their name and their picture, there's like a little circle. And then there's 2 arrows just to the right of that, like pointing out.
I saw that.
Tap on those 2 arrows. Let that refresh and then go back and tap on the little circle and see if that'll update everything. That's my refresh static. If I want to refresh the screen, that
I'll
might
try. I'll try that.
try that. See.
Yes.
Also, you may want to try signing out of the app. Have
Log
you-
off. I did, and I logged out and then I brought it back up and put my current credentials in
Okay.
and it said incorrect, it just was invalid.
This is giving you some grief, huh?
Yeah, but I've learned to be patient. Like Forrest said, it is what it is and just do support. Yeah, because I used it every day. I mean, I didn't have problems when other folks had problems. So it'll, if I don't hear from a couple more days, I'll send another support ticket or email.
All right. Yeah, if you're
Thank you
still
guys for all the input. I
Carlotta,
appreciate it.
Carlotta, if you
You're
still
welcome.
get stuck, you don't hear back from them in a couple of days, send me a screenshot to me, text it to my mobile number of a screenshot and explain what's going on, and then I'll forward that to
Oh,
Doc Perkins
okay.
and run it through the back end.
I'll give them 48 more hours. Okay.
See if we can get that fixed.
Hey,
But make sure you do a
Carlotta,
screen-
Yes.
you may want to just go ahead and do it because I sent a support ticket, I want to say last week,
Uh-huh.
couple, and they never responded. They never even acknowledged.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
they're way behind you guys. I mean,
So I don't
literally
know if another 48 hours is gonna make a difference.
yeah,
It-
they're way behind right now, you guys. I literally got a reply back from a support ticket that I sent
Okay.
almost a month ago. I mean, they're slammed. So you're correct. You might want to just go ahead and screenshot that, make a clear explanation of what's going on. Make sure you include your ID,
Yeah,
user
my
ID,
member
and
ID.
your member ID, and I'll
Mhm.
forward that to Doc Perkins, and then go from
Okay.
there and see what
I'll
happens.
write that up tonight and send it to you. What's
All
the
right.
problem? Thanks, Forrest.
All right.